defensive end extraordinaire Cam Jordan, Pro Bowler, All Pro, all those wonderful things. But first, we got to talk hoops, Cam, because you're a guy we saw you with the New Orleans Pelicans City Edition jersey, the Zion Williamson edition, and no hate against Zion, but you want a Jackson Hayes, okay? So why do you want a Jackson Hayes jersey?
I mean, you absolutely love the class that we had last year. You talk about, Zion, Jackson, and they're just like walking highlight reels. But of course, Jackson's dad was a former D-line coach, and my heart is always with the D-line. So that was the connection there. And Jackson is sort of a dog in that bottom. He's a power five. And I think, the more he grows, the more he's going to have the chance to be an excellent center. And again, he's a walking highlight. I love it.
I tell you what, that is as good of a rendition. That's a good rundown as I can find anybody. So I'm going to leave you alone with the hoops because you know a little too much, and I don't want you to take my job when it comes to hoops. So now we're going to move to football. We're going to move to football because you are part of the NFL's #1 defense right now. But forget right now. What have you guys done well this season? Because you seem to have really cranked it up here these last couple of months.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the defensive unit as a whole is playing better. We're more comfortable with each other knowing where we're going to be. There's so much more trust now. That first week, we were still trying to figure things out. The next couple weeks, we took, 2 losses. And then, we're sitting there 1-2 with the world on our shoulders, but it's always been about us. It's always been about our locker room. It's always been about our defense and how we want to go about things. So, it's really the last 8 weeks or 9 weeks or, whatever it is of coming together and realizing that each and every play we can have a chance to make a huge impact for our offense. And of course, as we're sitting now, we've always pushed ourselves to be better than we were the week before. And now it seems like the world is trying to take notice of it. It's still not going to change our mentality where we still feel that there's opportunities for us to get better at.
Okay, now, hard not to take notice of you. Last 2 games, 4 sacks, so, you're getting them levels up, like you always say. What has been the key for you? I know you aren't a guy who's married to statistics, but what's been the key for you to get this little, burst out here in these last couple of games?
I've always said, if anything, I'm here to play the run. I'm here for these hands. I was never labeled a pass rusher until I was, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, these stats say here. But we're winning. As a defensive unit, we're playing well. What more can I ask for? And in terms of my numbers, I told you early on, I was like, this all comes full circle. If I'm catching more double teams, that means somebody else is free. If they start winning, then they can't double team me. And if they try and double team Trey, then all of a sudden you see David Onyemata playing, getting sacks, and Double D probably has his highest amount of sacks he's had in his career. He's sitting at 4 already. These guys are monsters in the middle. So at some point, the offense has to respect all of us. And if everybody's catching singles, I like us.
Now, Cam, what? Are you a defensive end or are you an edge rusher? Because, Pro Bowl, they like to call you guys, Pro Bowl and All Pro, they like to call you guys edge. But I will say this, you don't see a lot of edge guys play the run the way you do. So are you a defensive end or are you an edge rusher? What are you?
I mean, come on, John. I was drafted to be a 4-eye. I was really drafted to be a D-tack, and I made myself into a defensive end. And had a chance to get after the pass rusher on the edge my rookie year, or not rookie year, my second year in the league, and really took over from there. But I consider myself a defensive lineman, a defensive end. I like my hand in the dirt. If all my D-line to tell you, I'm here for these hands. Like, I'm here for 100% of these. And sometimes, outside linebackers, edge rushers, or whatever can be a little bit more, finesse. I'm here for these.
Okay, so now the game. You guys have won 8 straight. The Falcons are 4-2 since they changed coaches. What will you guys need to do to get another win and separate yourself a little bit more and move one step closer to an NFC South Division title and potentially the NFC #1 overall seed? What do you need to do to win this game?
Obviously you have to try and contain, Julio Jones. You have to try and contain Calvin Ridley. You can't let Hayden Hurst and, Gage to sort of affect the game. And as a D-line, of course, we have to try and contain Matt Ryan, who has been scrambling and playing at an extremely high level this year. As he is a former NFL MVP, it's up to the D-line to try and keep him contained.
All right, folks, that's Cam Jordan, and we're going to see if he can get sack number 22, 23, 24, 25, whatever it is against the Falcons this week, because he's got 7 sacks in his last 2 games against the Falcons. So I got a feeling he probably ain't going to see a whole lot of one-on-ones, but that's just me. I'm John DeShazier. That's Cam Jordan. And Cam, thanks for joining us here on Dome at Home.